Hello and welcome back for day 17 of the holiday card series for 2024. My name is Christina, and today I'm starting out with some dies from my very first release of my line. This is the Gentle Berries die set, and I'm going to be creating some kind of die cut inlay. Now, pay no attention to that plaid pattern off to the side on the screen. I thought I might use it, but I ended up not. I went in a completely different direction, so just ignore that. But I did take I think it was the Peace, Joy, Love frame dies, and I cut the Peace frame out of some gold cardstock. So I just ran that through my die cutting machine. I'm going to hold on to that die cut until I'm ready to put the greeting on my card. For the berries and the leaves, I decided to go with this really pretty kind of rose gold. It's very rosy glitter paper. I'll try to find it over at Simon Says Stamp and link it down below. I'm not entirely sure what this color is called. I'm going to try to track it down for you. It was just floating around in my glitter cardstock stash. But now I'm going to cut the leaves. That was for the berries. I'm going to cut the leaves out of a nice rosy dark mauve shade from the Gardener's Delight pack of paper from Crafters Consortium. I used this back on day 13, and I just love these pink shades. I'm living for it for this holiday season. I'm not sure why. These rosy kind of toned back mauves are really speaking to me. So I picked out 3 different tones. I'm going to have actually technically only 2 tones. I've got this darker shade that I've cut for the main background of my card design. And then I have a lighter tone for the leaves and then the glitter for the actual berries. So for the berries die cut, you're going to need a base layer that has everything solid. So that's the die cut you see up at the top there. I'm going to first glue my gold outline of my berries and leaves on top of that solid white base layer. I'm gluing that down with just some dots of glue kind of all over. And I'm using a liquid glue so that I can kind of move these around and shift them if they're not quite adhered just right. I put some paper weights on top of that to hold it down while I sorted all of my berries and leaves. Now, to make it a little bit easier, and I feel like I have a little bit more of a method to the madness when I do inlay, I like to lay out all of the leaf shapes on the outer edges of my die cut, and then I can put dabs of glue on the leaves and very quickly pick up the leaves and transfer them over to the actual stem. So I just went through and I organized everything so that they were next to the spots where they were going to go. It makes it so I can move fairly quickly through the entire stem of leaves without having to do, just one leaf with glue, find the leaf, transfer it over. This way I can do it in batches. And when it comes to the berries, I put glue dots on all of the berry spots and then just picked up the berries with this wax tool from Trinity Stamps and picked it up and moved it over to the berry stems. So it goes really, really quickly once you get going here. In fact, if you were doing a bunch of these all at the same time for lots of cards, I think it could go fairly quickly once you have everything kind of sorted and placed in the position for where you're going to be gluing them. So I set that aside to dry completely, and then I decided to add a little bit of a more dramatic edge to this dark shade of cardstock. So I'm using ground espresso distress ink and a blending brush that I have designated just for browns, and I'm bringing in that color on the edges, and it was not enough. So I swapped colors and I switched to black soot, and now I'm using a brush that I use for black. So I'm just bringing that in on the edges, really darkening that up. It's going to give it a little bit more of a dramatic look. I think it looks really pretty, especially since this is such a simple card design. Having some more clean elements that have a little bit of color variation, some shading, some ink blending, I think it really looks great on a finished card. So I put some adhesive, some tape runner on the back of that piece that I just ink blended, and then I placed that into the center of my 5x7 card base. I'm then going to go around with a white Gelly Roll pen. This is the number 10 Bold. It's my favorite white gel pen. I think the smaller Gelly Roll pens don't give such a nice kind of white line on things. They do work, but my favorite is the number 10, which is more bold. I put some glue on the back of my berries and stems and then adhered that directly onto the card right on the left-hand side. And it's going to hang off the top and also the bottom of the card, but I will eventually cut off those kind of hanging off areas. I put some paperweights on that die cut to hold it in place and then added some glue to the back of that gold frame. I'm adhering the frame first and just placing that down onto the bottom right corner of my card design. And then I put some glue on the back of the piece die cut. Now, if you wanted to put that negative negative in the rectangle and then put that piece in the center just so it kind of puzzle pieces in, you could do that. I decided to just, do it by hand or by eye and just freehand place it on there, and it worked out fairly well. So now I'm going to cut off those areas of the die cut that are hanging off the top and bottom. These come off really easy once everything has dried to the card, so nothing shifts when I go to cut off these pieces. So that's going to finish up the card for day 17 of the holiday card series. This one worked up really, really easily. I think I might even want to do some duplicates of this card and just change up the colors I use. It would be gorgeous in a dark teal and then some lighter blue shades. I think that would be so pretty. So I'll be back on Wednesday with day 18 of the holiday card series. I hope you'll come back and check that out. And once again, if you'd like to check out some additional videos from previous years of the holiday card series, I will have all the day 17 videos linked down below in the video description. Thanks so much for watching and for your support of my YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time for day 18.